she told me she was going back to school, but when she said that, I already kind of knew that wasn't really even a thing. So back in like December of last year, she told me that she was going back to school and it would be starting in March. And she was only going to go to this school back in her hometown because it's the only school that you could get this certification in a year or whatever. But I already knew that wasn't really the truth. And I kind of knew in my mind once she left, that was going to be it. Then when she finally left, even though honestly a part of me was glad, another part of me kind of broke in different ways that I didn't even realize I would. There's always that one moment that you realize you've just been lying to yourself. And then from that point on, for the beginning phase, really, I just kind of started to fall apart in silence. You know, I wasn't training like I should with intensity. I was just kind of checking a box. I'd sleep in, wake up groggy, feeling like trash, hit snooze 5 times, and I'd tell myself, you know, I'll get it together tomorrow because tomorrow's another day. It's a different day, different mic. You know, I wasn't showing up for my business. I wasn't even showing up for myself. I was smoking weed to numb emotions and basically just like not try to deal with it, you know, because if I felt bad when I got my work done and I smoked weed, then it'd be okay. Or really it got so bad that I was just smoking all day because then I didn't have to think about it. And I was vaping every, 10 minutes, sucking on that rectangle box to feel okay. I'd be scrolling on my phone for hours and hours. I wasn't doing the dishes or putting them in the dishwasher until at night. And then I'd be pissed off because I was staying up late because I didn't want to stay up late because I had to get up early, right? But then I wouldn't get up early. I'd hit snooze. And it was just this cycle over and over and over. And the worst part of all of it is the last 2 years, I didn't even have God in my life. And I was just, if I could get any further from him, I really was. And what I started to realize is you don't wake up one day broken. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't just wake up one day like all of this happened. It was like I let little habits go one step at a time. I stopped fighting one step at a time. And then instead of being towards this side of good, I started to just just kind of move toward everything I didn't want to be, the person I didn't want to be, and the position I didn't want to be in. And then I remember looking at myself, after the shower one day, I was looking in the mirror and I was just thinking like, man, this is trash. Like, something has to change. You cannot build a physique on a foundation of garbage, right? And my habits had been garbage. My life was garbage. My business was garbage. And you have to think, this is at the worst time, right? Like, for those of you that don't know, I started my business again in January. And so, like, it hadn't been that long. I needed to make money and I wasn't showing up for myself. And you can't step into power if your routines are built around escaping pain, right? I couldn't move on while I was still blunting the emotions and not dealing with them. I couldn't do that. And that's really when I realized, like, if I wanted to look like a champion, be a champion, and I wanted to truly be somebody that was, like, in my mind, a man, right? Like, what's a man? Like, a man is someone that can provide, someone that is smart, intelligent, someone that knows how to communicate, somebody that's dangerous, you know what I mean, in all the good ways, somebody that's fit, takes care of themselves, takes care of their mental health, their physical health, their spiritual health, all that stuff. And I realized if I really wanted to be that champion, right, if I really wanted to have that mindset, if I wanted to be that guy, then I really had to start acting like that guy, even when no one was watching, because no one was watching. And now that I'm 30, I really think every man does hit this point in their life where, maybe not from a breakup or something like that, but they hit this point in their life where they either become dangerous or they just disappear. And I realized, like I said, like, I wasn't stuck. I was hiding. I'd set alarms for 5 a.m.s. I'd wake up at 8 and I'd call it discipline. I'd call it a win. I'd say I wanted to build my business, but I spent 3 hours scrolling TikTok because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't put the phone down to focus on what I needed to do. I was just avoiding everything. I'd hit the gym, but I wouldn't really call it training. I was just checking the boxes. For the first time in my life, I wasn't even writing down my numbers. I wasn't focused. I wasn't doing any of that. I'd always tell myself that I would start tomorrow, but I said that yesterday, and I said it the day before, and the day before that, and like nothing was really changing. I was just telling myself the same lies, you know? And I was scrolling to escape. I was smoking not to feel, and I was vaping because one, I wanted to be numb to it, and two, I just didn't want to think. I just didn't want to think. It was like a dopamine hit smoking, and then a dopamine hit, watching Instagram, and then smoking weed was another dopamine, like basically blunting the bad feelings. And I would say that I wanted this next level life. Like I wanted this next level physique. Like I wanted to be that guy, but I wasn't willing to put in the work. I wasn't willing to pray. I wasn't willing to get closer to God. I wasn't willing to listen. I wasn't willing to do anything or face all of these things that I needed to face in order to level up. I was just avoiding them. Instead of going right, I was going left. And the truth is, like, this has nothing to do with my genetics, where I was raised, the color of my skin, where I grew up, my parents. You know, you're not like, it just didn't make any sense. I wasn't running into the ground from exhaustion. I was just giving up. And then one day I just decided, like, enough is enough. If you really want to be this guy, I could see it in my mind. This is the turning point. You either go this way and you have everything you've ever wanted, you live the life you want to live, you have the physique you want to have forever and hold on to it, or you go this way and essentially you become no one. You become a loser. You become everything that I never wanted to be. So I quit. I quit vaping. I quit smoking weed. Cold fucking turkey. I just quit. A lot of people say they can't do that. I call it bullshit. It's called throw it in the trash and stop doing it. It's not easy. It wasn't fun. I didn't sit here and love it. I tossed and turned for nights trying to sleep again. Then to add on to it, I did start waking up at 4:30 a.m. The first thing I would do is make my bed. I was cleaning the kitchen before I left for my first clients and stuff. I started reading some scripture. I started reading my devotional. I started reading 10 pages a day in books like this, Transurfing in 78 Days. It changed my life, right? And my devotional here, Joyce Meyer, I started reading that, and I started just reading the Bible, and I read it front to back. I haven't finished it yet, but that's what I did. And even that bothered people. People would tell me how I'm supposed to read the Bible. Who gives a fuck? You just read it. If you want to read it, you just read it. And I finally started showing up like someone was watching me, and someone was watching me. It was God. He was watching to see, am I going to make the right decisions? Are you going to go forward? Are you going to become the man that you're supposed to be? Or are you going to shrivel up into irrelevance? So I finally stopped numbing. I started building, and I just started building not just a body, right? Because I had been pretty good shape for my whole life because I had focused on that. But I was building something better than that. I was building an all-encompassing life that I was proud of. Not just the physique, right? Not just the physical, but the mental and the spiritual and the type of man that I think everyone should want to be. And the thing is that I realized is, like, I could see very clearly, like, the man that I wanted to be was inside me. He was always there. I just had to dig him out, like literally dig him out, because I was just drowning him in comfort. And that's a huge problem that I had, was just basically being like, there's the hard option or the easy option. And every day I just picked easy, because I was afraid to confront things, but it wasn't getting me anything that I wanted. And so what I would say to myself, if I could basically grab myself and talk to him again, right? But I would talk to him earlier, because now I know what to do. I would talk to him earlier and I would say, if you want a next level physique, then raise your fucking frequency, dude. If your training feels flat, if your habits are low in vibration, you'll never look like a man until you start acting like one. Every single muscle on your body reflects, your physical body reflects what you do in the gym. It reflects your mindset. It reflects your morning routine. It reflects your habits. And that's what, like, I was not understanding. It's not even, you don't need a coach. You need a mirror. You need a mission. You need God, right? And the only reason that I didn't look like a superhero yet is because I was still living like a civilian. If you truly want to look carved, if you want to have that shredded physique, you've got to chip away the bullshit pieces of yourself. And it's gonna be painful. It's gonna be tough. It's the work that everyone around you doesn't want to put in. And when you're putting it in, everyone around you is gonna be freaked out because they don't want to put it in so bad that their red flags go off when someone else does it. And I just feel like it's like I said, it's hard, right? But it's not complicated. If you want to stop feeling stuck, stop snoozing the alarm. If you want to be proud of the man you see in the mirror, stop leaving your dishes in the sink. If you want a physique that turns heads, stop hiding in hoodies so no one sees how soft you become. If you really want to like lead your household, if you really want to like have a loving relationship and lead your girl, lead your woman, you don't need prep or a stage to do that. You don't need a heartbreak, right? Like I had. You don't need any motivation. You just need to decide that who you are right now is not enough and you will not accept it any longer. And I know these things because I've felt these things. I've literally lived these things. This has been my life up until this point. And when you look back at all the things that have happened, right? Every time things like this happen, it's because you're not showing up for yourself. And something that I've heard from Alex Hormozy that makes so much sense that I could tell you guys is some of you guys are just, me included, that I was doing this, is you're just living the same 6 months of your life over and over and over and over. Are you tired yet? Are you tired yet? Are you tired of waking up at 6 a.m. instead of 4 a.m.? Are you tired of waking up on the weekends and feeling behind? I remember I would wake up on a Saturday and I would be like, well, I'm going to sleep in because I'm tired and blah, blah, blah. All this bullshit, right? And what would I do? I would sleep until 9 and then I'd feel like a loser because then all day I'm playing catch up. And then because I slept in and felt like a loser already, why not watch some Netflix instead of watch something motivational? Why not take my time, piss my time away? And then instead of like getting up and going for a walk and taking care of stuff and going to the store and meal prepping and reading my book and reading the devotional and reading the Bible and getting closer to God, instead of doing those things, I would waste my time until I had clients from like noon to 5 p.m. And then I'd come home at 6 on Saturday and I would tell myself another lie that, oh, I'm tired. It's okay. Start tomorrow. Start tomorrow. And it was always start tomorrow. Every time it was start tomorrow. And I can tell you guys from the other side that if you always say start tomorrow, guess what? Tomorrow comes, but you don't show up because I didn't show up. I was that guy. You know, in January, I told myself I'd get up at 4:30 and it took me until like March 15th to do it. It took a girlfriend of 6 years leaving to do it. How many times in our lives do we need to get smacked in the mouth before it's like, I'm done learning that lesson. I will learn. I will improve. Because something I've realized, when I stopped vaping, I leveled up. When I stopped smoking weed, I leveled up. And I'm not talking about physically, just physically, but I'm talking about physically, mentally, spiritually. I felt myself getting closer to God. There are activities in our lives that are low frequency and there are activities in our lives that are high frequency. Everything in the universe is energy. God made everything in the universe. If you don't believe energy is real, I don't even know, because I know you felt it. Have you ever been close to somebody, or have you ever had your wife walk in the house and you don't actually know that she's there, but you can feel that she's there? Or how about when you first met your first girlfriend or your second girlfriend or a girl that you love? Do you remember the first time you met? Before you even spoke, you could feel it, right? Think about the time you met your best friend ever in high school or in grade school, or your best friend now. I guarantee you felt the connection almost instantaneously. That's energy. Everything is energy. Everything is frequencies, right? And so like watching porn is a low frequency. That would put you down. That would make you think dumb thoughts. You would be dumber, literally. Like sleeping in is a low frequency activity. Smoking a cigarette to deal with stress is a low frequency activity. Smoking weed, low frequency activity. Doing drugs, low frequency. Getting drunk, if you do that, low frequency. And I could feel it in the way that I walked, in the way that I talked, in the way that I moved, in the way that I saw myself, because everything around us, your world is a mirror of what you see yourself as. Have you ever noticed that people that are happy, whether they're poor or rich, they're happy about everything? They're happy about everything. They're happy about themselves. They view themselves in a good way. They have friends that are happy for them. They're just happy. They're close to God and they're happy. People that are upset, no matter how much money they have, They don't feel good. They don't look good. They don't talk good about people. They don't talk good about anything. They feel like shit and they live like shit. And that's just this big ass, shitty momentum ball of trash that just continues to spiral and your life gets worse and worse and worse. Like I said, this didn't happen overnight. It was like, oh, my girlfriend left and she's not physically in the house. So if I sleep in, nobody knows. Oh, if I smoke weed a little bit earlier than normal, nobody knows. Oh, if I pick up vaping again and don't tell anyone, nobody knows. And that's all true. Nobody did know. Nobody knew. But it was me getting worse and worse and worse. And do you think my business got better? Absolutely not. And that's why I'm saying you don't need a major event in your life to change. You just need someone like this, something like this to pull you out of it, something to wake you up and realize that you want more. All of us want more. I know all of us want more. And there's some time that like we stop thinking like a child in a bad way and we start thinking like an adult in a very, very bad way. We stop thinking about what we can do, who we want to be, where we want to go, and we let all these limitations weigh us down and we start doing low frequency activities to kind of blunt those feelings. Instead of thinking about your childhood dreams, I'll just have another drink. Instead of thinking about who I should be, I'll just take another hit. That's who I was. That's who a lot of us are. But if we would just still think like children and just be like, no, that's bullshit. This is who I want to be. I don't give a fuck what other people say, and just start moving in the right direction and just take one step after another. You don't have to do it all in one day. You just take a step and then another step. Like that's literally how I did it. It wasn't all in a rush. It was like I started getting up at 4:30 and then I started feeling good about myself. Because I felt good about myself, I got more stuff done in my business day to day. Because I felt good in my business, I decided I don't want to smoke. I didn't want to smoke a vape because I didn't want to pull up to the gym and have my clients think I was a liar. Because I'm teaching physical fitness and here I am lying. I'm the guy that smokes outside of the gym. That's bullshit. So I put that down. And then because I felt better about that, I thought, well, I still can't be the guy that's making their plans while he's high. I can't be the guy that goes to sleep or needs a little security blanket of weed to get high and just to sleep. I can't be that guy. So I put that down. And I knew it would suck because I didn't sleep very well. And I'm still dealing with like weed withdrawals as far as like you feel high when you're not high and things like that. But I overcame it because I decided that enough is enough and I want more out of life. And there is no other time. The time goes by, I don't know if you realize, faster and faster and faster as we get older. So if you feel that fire in your chest, then stop scrolling. Don't skip. Don't say you'll start tomorrow. Quit lying to yourself. Start today. Start right now.